In one sequel, Danny Glover, and in another, a completely otherworldly character.
Oh my lord. I don't remember there being a holiday Predator movie.
That's where
It's
I
not actually, so it's not
ballparked
actually
it.
prey on who, it's prey for the holidays. Oh yeah, we're back again. Those Padres podcasts. Major J, Sundance Kid, here covering Boston sports and so much more. We're running it back. We got another packed show tonight. We got a lot to talk about Sundance. We've got the Patriots, who we're going to be talking about, suffering a bit of an identity crisis of sorts in Minnesota. So we're going to talk about that and what that means for the next couple of games. We got the Celtics and Bruins lighting it up. We'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to do a bit of a deeper dive into Red Sox offseason, a little Hot Stove Roulette, new segment we're debuting tonight. We're also going to be going into a holiday edition of Cómo Se Llama, so make sure you stick around for all of it. Before we get going, Sundance, of course, what you sipping on?
So I have something here. It is a Sam Adams winter lager, and I am told it is festive and smooth. It's dark, so I could say that it's a dark beer.
You want a dark beer?
But it's pretty good. It's not bad. It's old reliable Sam Adams.
Old reliable, not as old reliable as an old Fezzi wig, but
Correct.
reliable nonetheless.
Those went fast.
I have no doubt. All right, so I'm going back to the Down East Cider. This is the little bit of glare there, but the winter brew of the Down East Cider, unfiltered, delicious. I'm a big fan of those, and I keep going back to them. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's start off with the rundown, and we're gonna talk right off the bat. We're gonna talk a little Patriots. Don't know what to say about that. This last couple of weeks, especially this past game in Minnesota. I think we knew it was gonna be tough. Short week on the road. They go in there, and like I was saying before, a bit of an identity crisis. They offense showed up. Offense looked a lot better. Mac showed up. Mac looked a lot better. The line performed. Receivers running crisper routes. They're getting open. Mac's got time. He's getting rid of the ball timely. He's got a little zip on the ball. So it seems like he's a little more behind it, hitting his receivers. And the defense is what essentially fails in the end, with a little mix of some refereeing that kind of didn't go their way as well. Hunter Henry, touchdown, not a touchdown. I don't know. It's a little disappointing because it's a game they could have had, should have had, but in the end, they came up short because the defense just could not stop Justin Jefferson and company. I don't know. Things not looking great necessarily. They're 6-5 now, last place in the East. I mean, you got Buffalo coming up to, well, we're recording this on Wednesday night, so tomorrow night on Thursday, Buffalo's favored by like 5. Don't feel great about that. I don't know. What do you think?
So it's really hard because the offense came through. The biggest questions that we had about this team over the last 4-5 weeks is where's the offense? Why aren't we seeing Hunter Henry? Where is Kendrick Bourne? Those guys were targeted quite a bit last week. How about Devontae Parker?
Kendrick Bourne was involved, ironically.
He was. He got more than 2 targets.
Hunter
It might have been like 4, if that. But Devontae Parker had a huge game for them. Myers, really, gutted it out. And Hunter Henry had 2 touchdowns. I mean, we all could agree that probably should have been a touchdown. It's bittersweet because that loss hurts bad. There's a huge difference between 7-4 and 6-5. Sorry to be Captain Obvious on that, but this is probably going to be the game that keeps us out of the postseason. It won't be the Green Bay game. It won't be the Chicago game. It'll be this one. This one's going to hurt. So, because again, I mean, to lose that game on the kickoff return play which I would say is really where we lost it. It's such a heavy dose of irony and humble pie at the same time. But the offense looked better. ESPN's Mike Reese said today that from all the defensive players he's talked to in the locker room this week, they're taking this Buffalo game personally. They are going into this game, and they didn't say it's going to be a statement game, but they've said we were embarrassed last year, and that's not who we are. So I did call an upset victory last week with Minnesota. That did not happen, but I'm calling for another one with Buffalo tomorrow night. I do think they get the win against Buffalo.
Okay. I know you actually mentioned that when we went through the last show, kind of going through the schedule. I know you were pretty confident. Well, you were calling for a home victory there.
Yep.
I'm still definitely going to say Buffalo wins that game. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong about that. I just don't feel I'd like to see, and I do have some mild optimism that maybe what we saw in Minnesota from the offense is going to keep up a little bit. Maybe we turned a bit of a corner. I don't want to give Matt Patricia too much credit for play calling, etc. It was more about performance than it was scheme. But nonetheless, everyone executed. So I'm hoping that I can see the Pats covering and keeping this a close game, especially at home. I don't know. Maybe the Josh Allen elbow situation comes to haunt them a little bit, and they're a little out of whack. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if the Pats, took this game at home. I'm not going to count on it per se. Gun to my head, I still say Buffalo wins. Hope I'm wrong. You've got that. Then you got Week 13 traveling to Arizona, which Cardinals are a mess. You'd like to think even on the road the Pats could take that game, but we'll take this 1 week at a time. One major injury of note is Damian Harris basically already ruled out for tomorrow night against the Bills. By the time this airs and people see him and listen to this, the game will be over, but likely. But Damian Harris out. Probably going to be the Ramondre show again with some other guys mixed in. I think Pierre Strong actually got hurt during that game as well. I'm not sure what that running back room is going to look like behind Ramondre. It might not matter. The guy's doing it all right now for them, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. So a little more, keep using him. Buffalo's got a good defense. They've been showing some holes in it the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I think there's definitely some room there. But
the starting left tackle is out. If I'm not mistaken, the starting left tackle is he's definitely been ruled out, as has Von Miller. So
correct.
It's hard to say that this is a must-win game. I think once you hit 500, then everything becomes must-win.
Right. It's tough with them being they're 6-5, but being from as far as the division goes, they're still Miami and Buffalo both 8-3. Jets are a game up at 7-4. I mean, there's still room to make moves now, but it has to be now. That's the thing.
And just from a feel standpoint, this is why this is a must-win game. Buffalo's banged up. Everybody's banged up in the NFL, but when the starting left tackle and Von Miller and by the way, the quarterback has an elbow injury, and the Patriots are playing at home, and the offense looks better. You got to get this. You got to get this win, and I know it's a tall task because it's Buffalo. I get it, but it's almost a got to have it. So so if there's any slight variation between must win and gotta have it, this is a gotta have it game, but it's not a must win, if that makes any sense at all.
A little bit. I mean, like you said, I think if you were to lose this game, fall to 6-6, then Arizona becomes basically must win. But we're gotta have it's like a game away from must win. I got you. There's levels of desperation here. Tears, not tears, because it might be tears. Yeah, soon, sadly. All right, we'll move on. We'll slide. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here. We'll move right into Celtics. Celtics, as we speak right now, we're again recording this on Wednesday night, home against Miami. I don't have the score, but I think it's halftime. We're up like 6 or 8. Can't stand Miami. But C's in general.
You're Celtic to the ball.
I mean, best in the East right now. It's 17-4. I'm going to pull the standings right now. I believe 17-4, 2 games over Milwaukee, which was only a half game a couple days ago, so that's pretty cool. I mean, we've talked about it before, but they're rolling. They're on a 4-game win streak, 13-2 in November, dominating teams. The first thing I would bring up is, and we've talked about this even going back to last season, is, like, we get a little scared, or maybe I get a little scared. Okay, again, crazy momentum right now coming off last season, rolling it right into this year. I'm afraid this team might be, pardon the expression, blowing their load a little too early. I don't know. Is it that? Is it they're going crazy first half and they're using up all their luck now and they're eventually regression's gonna hit and come back around a little bit? Not to say they're gonna be a bad team, but they're not gonna be maybe this dominant. Or they just is this for real? Is this really a freight train that's gonna be unstoppable, rule through the East? I mean, I don't know. I can see it both ways. Recency bias for me. By recency, I'm saying the last few years, what you and I have come to know with this team, not to jump in with 2 feet, has me a little hesitant. But at the same time, you watching what we watch night in, night out with this team, just flow, and everything's going right. They do everything right, fundamentally, shooting, defense, placement, passing. It's all there, and this is all without Robert Williams. And I'll kick it over to you because I'm sure it's probably something you want to talk about. But Robert Williams was spotted practicing 5-on-5 today. I think Prince William of England fame is also at the game, which means nothing to us, but I just found that interesting as well. So let me know what you think. First thoughts on that.
Wasn't aware of Prince William in attendance this evening, but I'll keep an eye out for him. Jaylen Brown not happy with the offensive foul. There's really not much more to add here. The Celtics are firing on all cylinders. You raise a good point. Basketball, similar to baseball, is a marathon, not a sprint. Load management, you're going to see guys take games off here and there, directed by the coaches. That's a whole entirely separate issue for the NBA to manage.
Right.
There's just no complaints here.
Load management to me is something else, man.
It's a really strange phenomenon. But if there's anything to be done there, it's shorten the season. And
agree. Which the owners will never have because it's losing money, or they'd have to have some offset there somewhere through the playoffs or whatever else. But
overall, this team looks really good. I can't believe how fortunate we are to have Joe Mazzulla just slide right into Udoka's shoes and guide this team to a hot start. Both Tatum and Brown look like they're ferocious right now. They're both playing with that same chip on their shoulder, which is impressive. Young guys like that just went to the finals. It's what's going to drive this team. They all know they're not going to be complete players without a championship ring. Robert Williams. It's hard because you want him back. He's so good defensively.
Right.
Does not do much for you offensively, but on the defensive end, he's a standout player. It's hard because the injury's right around the corner. So he's, whenever he comes back. So he's practicing. Yeah. I believe Mazzulla said at this point, he's practicing full contact. It's just a matter of him being comfortable to get out there, whatever that means. I'm nearly at a loss for words because he is going to come out and he's going to light it up on the defensive end, and he's going to do it for 5 or 6 games, and then he's going to miss a game, and they're going to say,
if we're lucky, it's a
So that's why I'm just not getting my hopes up for Robert Williams. He's listening, no fault of his own. Athletes get injured. He doesn't want to be injured, but
right.
For me, the focus is on the guys that are out there, and really cool stories with Brogdon being unselfish and Hauser just coming out of nowhere, and Pritchard, still doing what he does. And don't forget about Grant Williams. Grant Williams is this could be his swan song with the Celtics. He's gonna be in line for a decent little contract.
Yeah,
more than likely somewhere.
Especially
else,
with basically being a starter now. I mean,
exactly.
So I'd like to see them do something to keep him. But obviously we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. One thing you mentioned, I actually wanted to circle back to, with regards to Tatum and Brown, notably Jaylen Brown. At this point, your opinion, do you feel, because most of the talk, last couple of years especially, has been about Tatum. Is Tatum elite? Top 5 guy? Top 3 guy? Where does he fall? And that debate came up again during the playoffs, right? And there's always all that talk about where's Tatum fall in the hierarchy. I'm curious where you think Jaylen Brown right now falls in that hierarchy of upper echelon players. Do you feel he is a top 10 guy in the NBA?
No.
Okay.
I can say that definitively. And okay. I love him to death. I love the scrappiness, the heart, the willingness to talk to the media. More than anything, I love the fact that the guy is just so entrenched in social activism and seems to be on the right side of things in a day and age where there's plenty of athletes that are not on the right side of things, clearly.
Right.
So, it's going to be hard to see him leave because he is going to leave at some point, I believe. And I think it's because of exactly what you're touching on.
Yeah. That's unfortunately as well.
You can only be number 2 for so long before you want to go out and show people what you can do.
Understandable.
And I think he's a West Coast guy.
He is a West Coast guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I see that happening. Not this year, not next season, but
at some point, right?
At some point, that's
especially if they get a ring. If this team finds a way to win a ring, I mean, all the more reason for him to say, all right, well, I'm next up on my list of to-dos. I'm ready to go and be the man somewhere else. Because at that point, he can check that box. He's got a championship. So I think even more so that would expedite that. No, I agree. I think he's flirting with 10. But I think realistically, definitely top 20. You can make the debate for maybe top 15, top 16, top 10 is probably pushing it. If we went down a list, I could probably name 10 guys that definitively I'd say, no, I'd rather have this guy all around on the court. No knock on Jay, but plenty of great players out there. All right. I mean, beyond that, we'll bring up let's bring up the schedule real quick just to see what we've got on tap for these guys. So this was the month of November. We got Miami right now as we speak. I think game's like tied, something like that. But, we got Miami again on Friday. Weird kind of back-to-back at home against the same team, which you don't see very often. But I don't know how that happened. But then you got 3 on the road, Brooklyn, Toronto, Phoenix. So basically you got Brooklyn, Toronto. Then you're still kicking out west to Phoenix, Golden State, Clippers, and Lakers. So that's going to be, I mean, the way this team's playing, what does it mean really? But still a tough stretch. We'll see what they're made of a little bit with the Phoenix, Golden State, even the Clippers stretch there. And then the rest of the month they're all home, which is awesome. So I don't really see any major issues with this team. We'll talk about it in a couple weeks when we come back, see kind of how they made out a little bit on the West Coast at that point. Because once we come back, they'll concluded that 6-game road trip. So, all right, we'll move off from the Celtics. Kind of exhausted that a little bit. We'll touch on the Bruins a little bit. Again, notably, we don't do a ton of the Bruins on the show, not because we don't love them, but we don't dive as deep into there. We kind of watch from afar. But the Bruins have been just as dominant as the Celtics, essentially, in the East. They're first in the East, 19-3, all in regulation. Notably, which everyone knows at this point, this team has set an NHL record for starting a season with now 13 straight home wins. So NHL record there, as well as an NHL record of now, after taking out Tampa Tuesday night, 20 straight at home overall going back to last year, including the playoffs. So both records in the NHL, which is insane, all in regulation, no OT, or not regulation, some are OT, but no OT losses, these are all straight wins. It's crazy. 11-2 in November, so they're basically just as dominant as the Seas. So Causeway, TD Garden is magic right now Sundays. November is just a magical month for Boston sports. down at Causeway Street. Pretty cool. Linus Allmark, who has been somewhat of a journeyman between the pipes, is basically playing the best goal of his career right now. The guy's 13-1.
Right.
It's crazy. And just to touch on this real quick, the thought was last year, we talked about this a little bit, is that Swayman was essentially the next coming in goal for this team. Up and coming was going to be the guy. Allmark was going to spell him. He was that veteran they signed away. Spell Swayman, have a veteran presence, etc. Allmark has overtaken Swayman easily, essentially now as the number one, playing the best hockey of his career. The guy's basically standing on his head night in, night out. 13-1, 2.0 goals against, 935 save percentage. Again, don't know if that's just he's on a hot streak and the guy's been around long enough where you don't want to assume now's when you have his career year. But who knows? Like, Swayman's been playing well behind him as well. So it's just everything's coming together, especially in goal, but even the top two or three of all four lines. David Krejci coming back, them prying him away from what was he in Slovakia, Czechoslovakia doesn't exist anymore, but over in Eastern Europe, comes back after a year. Has basically been the biggest catalyst, kind of solidifying that second line at center. Basically, it seems like this team's really just kind of galvanized, which I don't know how much you can read into it, how much you put into this with professional teams, but it sure seems like they're intent on getting Patrice Bergeron one more shot in a cup, which is pretty cool. Jake DeBrusk, who went from wanting a trade last year, kind of getting benched, sitting down, him and his agent insisting on a trade. They said, screw that, we're not trading you. Works his way back in the rotation, plays pretty well down the stretch. Dude's playing lights out right now, best hockey of his career. So I'd say, as much as I don't want to give praise to Sweeney and Cam Neely, nice job not trading him because that was clearly the right move. The guy's righted the ship, grown up, whatever. I don't know. But at this point, Bruins are just hot, hot, hot. We've got coming up, you've got Colorado on Saturday at home. So a chance to extend that streak, that home streak there. And then Vegas. Golden Knights on Monday as well. And then you got a 3-game trip going out west. So exciting times, again, on Causeway, Siege, Bruins, all kinds of stuff going on there. One other thing, Sundance, we want to touch on. This right here. The United States men's national team.
Pulled it out.
Has advanced into the knockout round of 16 in the World Cup. Blow your vuvuzelas, shout from the rooftops, do whatever you got to do. This team, which blew a 1-0 lead late versus Wales, had to settle for a draw when that really should have been 3 points in a win. Came back, essentially outplays England for about 70 minutes in their second game in group stage to a 0-0 draw, which you love to see a team score an actual goal in soccer, but to hold England, one of the better teams in the world, to no goals and play them, essentially outrun them, outplay them on the pitch for most of the game, keeping them scoreless, big deal. And when they needed to win the most, on Tuesday against Iran, came down in a winning 1-0 on an incredible goal by Christian Pulisic, who then had to essentially exit the game after halftime with an abdominal injury, which, abdominal or lower, whatever. He's okay, though. So U.S. men's national team moves on. We're going to play Netherlands in the knockout round of 16 on Saturday.
How good is the Netherlands?
They're top 10 world country. I mean, they right now the odds are give or take not good for the U.S. Caesars, Vegas, they're giving them, I think they're like a plus 325 to win that match. Not good. But from everything I've seen, they do match up somewhat well to the Netherlands style. I think Taylor Twellman actually said it on ESPN this morning. Essentially, the Netherlands, very good team, fundamentally sound, etc., but they're not exciting. They're not wowing you. They're not putting the ball in the back of the net 5 times. They're not doing what Spain did a few games ago, where they basically put up 6-7 goals against somebody. They're professional. They just up and down, do their thing, etc. Very methodical. and essentially could play into the US's hands a little bit with the way they stretch out wide and come back on the counter. So it could be exciting. It will be exciting. I mean, simply the fact this team got to the knockout round after missing the last World Cup. Greg Berhalter, I mean, like, hats off, nice job. There's been some criticism with the way he handled the second half of a lot of these games in the group stage, but the fact that this team was able to get through the group stage and get to a knockout round, that alone is a step in the right direction. I think people appreciate it. We just need to build on that from an overall program perspective. And that's what I love about the World Cup is it brings people in. People get interested because it's such a big event. You just want to see it kind of carry on and kind of keep a following. So I know you tuned in a little bit during that Iran match. Any thoughts from you, Sundance, with the World Cup?
I don't have any thoughts on the World Cup, and I hate to pull an Owen Wilson from the cable guy. I'm interested. I want to learn about this. I'm curious.
But you have to use the head first.
But
we got it.
I want to circle back, to use a major J-ism, to the Bruins, and it's pretty cool that they're getting this kind of Jake Taylor season out of Olmark, right? I mean,
that's a great comp, actually. Jake Taylor.
And so, you've got that coming through with a new coach, Jim Montgomery.
Montgomery. Yep.
Montgomery. Yep. You do have to give a lot of credit to Neely and Sweeney. I remember reading about these guys in the summer, and we had that whole debacle about signing that kid that was a bully in grade school or whatever, and they didn't do their homework on him. Right. And you're just like, man, nearly everything these guys touch turns to gold lately. It's impressive. I have not seen Pasta get a giant contract extension yet. I did hear some rumblings that that they're going to need to look at that at some point.
You would assume at this point the way the guy's been playing,
So
it's guy's ridiculous,
and he's my favorite. So I'm always going to find.
You love you some Pasta.
I'm always going to find a way to work me some Pasta into the Bruins conversation. So that's what I got. Listen, go USA. I hope we down the Netherlands and advance to the championship. We'll see.
All right. Good stuff. All right. That I think that kind of wraps up the one there. Before we move into quick little note, Sundance, we again, as we alluded to at the beginning of the top of the show, we did decide to run it back, give it another go. We're going to give this thing another try. Let's see how it turns out. Since we're doing that, if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, click the little notification bell, turn notifications on so you don't miss a show going forward. If you're listening on your favorite podcast provider, make sure to rate and review. 2023 Sundance, it's our year. It's our year to get over 100 subscribers. Hell or high water, we're going to get there. So if everyone just takes a moment to like, subscribe, etc., it helps us tremendously. Greatly appreciate it. All part of the Western Mass Greater Hartford County takeover. We're here for it. Let's do it. All right. That's a new segment. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but we kind of want to dive a little bit into Red Sox. Hot. A lot going on there. A lot of opinions. A lot flaring up. Just ask Mike Felger. It's quite an enigma at this point, and we can get into it a little bit, but I wanted to dive into it through a new game we're going to play, Hot Stove Roulette. And essentially what we're going to do here is we took 30 some odd free agents, put them on a wheel, we're going to spin it, and rather than sit here and try to pick guys that we want to talk about, we're going to let the wheel talk about. Name comes up, Sundance, I'm going to kick it to you. You get to tell me, A, where you think this player is going to land, and B, the chances 1 to 10 he ends up in Boston. All right?
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead. Hot Stove Roulette. Click the wheel. Where does it?
I hope you trademark.
Unbelievable. The first topic is going to be Xander Bogaerts. Sundance.
Okay.
Xander. This couldn't be any more appropriate. Let's talk about Xander, which we could go on a little bit about, actually. Where do you think he lands, Sundance?
Right. So, fan of the show, longtime baseball insider Peter Gammons reported today that he has spoken to not one, not two, not three. Yes, three MLB executives from different teams who have told him, yes to three, that Bogaerts has told these teams, I'm not going back to Boston. So you can already count them out. I don't really understand how that helps as a... Well, here's the thing. I saw some disputing reports that, if this is true what Gammons is saying, it really could just be, Boris playing the Boris game, or it could be a leverage thing. I don't understand the leverage part of it in any way. Like if Xander's negotiating with the Cubs, I don't understand how that helps him get $20 million more. If he tells them, I'm definitely not going back to Boston.
But a team isn't. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I also don't see it helping his cause with the Red Sox, because does he really think they're going to spend an extra $20 million because he said, I'm not going back there? I don't think so. That's not happening.
Oh, wait. No, please don't go, Xander. Wait. Yeah.
I'm going to call this right now. Somebody else.
Okay.
I guess it was like a hot take, but it's really not a hot take. It's common sense. He's going to land with the New York Yankees because the Yankees, I don't believe, are going to re-sign Judge. I think Judge gets swept away. I'm not going to tell you who, as it may come up on the Hot Stove Roulette wheel, but I'm going to peg Xander going to the Yankees. This is going to be a Johnny Damon move, and it's going to hurt because I actually think it's going to be a better signing for the Yankees than Judge would have been.
Wow. Okay. I would not have said. So chances 1 to 10 that Xander comes back to Boston.
Oh,
2?
I'm putting those
essentially.
chances.
Are you going full on 1?
I'm going to put those chances at 1. Yeah, it's just that ship has sailed.
Okay.
And part of that is why I don't see Judge going back to the Yankees. You had your opportunity.
Right.
Once guys get to free agency, they just almost never go back to the team they were with.
Agree. I'm not going to say the Yankees. I'm going to say Philly. I'm going to say the Phillies, and chances of coming back to Boston, just because I want to be an optimistic fan, even though I know it's not going to happen. I'll give him a 3, a solid 3, in bold font. How about that? Okay.
There's your optimism.
All right.
Don't discredit the Dave Dombrowski factor there with the Phillies. You're absolutely onto something.
That's actually exactly partially. Yeah, and they have the need there because Gene Segura is moving on. All right, let's move on to free agent. Spin the wheel. Where's the named? Another, ironically, with the Red Sox fielder from the Mariners, who's produced when healthy, but the key being when healthy, has been floated a bit as another Red Sox second-tier type target. And again, as we've joked about, Red Sox, the interest kings of Major League Baseball. They're interested in everybody,
and
like Jose Abreu, which we don't get too much of a tangent, and sign nobody because they're interested in all. But unless you're taking a cut to come, play in the friendly confines of Fenway, we know you want to. Sorry, we can't extend ourselves. But Mitch Haniger falls into the mold of the type of free agent this team has been really interested in the last couple of years. So, Mitch Haniger, what do you think, Sundance?
I am going to peg him at a 6. He's not a full bore 10 for the Red Sox because Michael Conforto is more of a 10 for the Red Sox. Talk to us about a guy who's got some potential, hasn't played in 2 years, major injury concern. Yeah, that's our kind of guy. Let's sign him. So, unfortunately, Haniger is a little healthier than a guy like Conforto. So I'm going to peg Haniger at 6. I don't think he lands with the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox get outdone by the Tampa Rays, and I think he signs with Tampa.
Oh, wow! And that would be a Tampa type signing, and it would be ironic that Bloom is outdone by the Rays. Something like Mitch Haniger. I am going to say Mitch Haniger does end up in Boston. And I'm going to give the chances of that, actually. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to give a 6 as well, but I'd say he ends up in Boston, just over 50-50. I'm going to go 60-40. He ends up here on a 2-year incentive-laden, $14 million deal. And I've said this to you offline.
Let's say he's...
I like Mitch Haniger. He's a good player. So I'm okay in a vacuum with him being signed. But again, it needs to be a piece of a larger puzzle. Okay, where are you putting big money? So, unfortunately, if Mitch Haniger say were to sign in the next week, I'd be mildly okay with it, but reserving judgment because I need to know how it fits into the larger picture over the next couple of months.
So let's say the Sox sign Haniger, play this out a little bit, and he's relatively healthy. He plays in 145 games. What's his stat line?
Ooh. He's going to be a 285. If he plays 145 games,
yep,
285, 27, 90.
Okay.
And he used to steal some bags. He might not because a lot of his injuries have been soft tissue, lower body, groin, that type of stuff. So. But he's a solid player when healthy. But again, it fits right into, as we talked about, the Red Sox wheelhouse as far as the type of guys they like. Where they can get a talented guy off injury who's got some kinks so we can get him cheaper and get that bargain and hope it works out. Because,
well, they don't have, the Red Sox don't have a lot of money to play with. So, that it would be different. If,
That's a good point. That's a good point. They really have to, they're basically a stone at this point. I guess it's a good call.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and go back to the wheel.
Celtics up 3.
All right, spin the wheel. Oh, that is Prince William and Kate. Unbelievable. The way these are coming up. Ring, by the way. On Kodai Senga. Maybe pronouncing that incorrectly. Don't know. But he is the Japanese. Is it Japanese or is it the Korean? Is it the KBL? I think it's Japan.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Well, regardless, over pitcher that it's all the rage. Go ahead. I'll let you take it. What do you think about this guy? I'll look up. I don't.
Kodai Senga is a Japanese professional baseball pitcher. He's a Red Sox. I hate to say I'm not rooting for it, but this guy's got Red Sox written all over him. 6 years, $62 million. Great job, Bloom. And he's going to slide right into the rotation at number 3, and they're going to talk about him being really a 1A. And we all know that he's probably not that. That said, some of these imports from Japan have worked out really nicely. A lot of them haven't, but some of them, when they really hit, they really hit. I mean, when they listen, say what you want, but Hideki Matsui, great player for the Yankees.
Oh,
right. There's a pretty talented baseball player that reminds people of Babe Ruth playing for the Angels right now. But then again, you got light hitting, crappy outfielders for the Cubs, like Fukudome, and the guy put up basically Alex Verdugo numbers. So right. This guy is going to land with the Red Sox. We've not had a good Japanese signing in a while, and so I'm going to peg the chances at 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's a good call. I sadly think you're right. This has Sox written all over it. They love themselves an import, especially
doesn't it feel like it?
It's just it feels like this is going back to the 2000s. If we're being real, like this team has just always been. It always feels like they're outsmarting everyone else by getting the import. Oh, we know more about this guy than you do. He's going to be a superstar. So even though we're paying him good money, he's going to be. And now I look it. And sorry, I believe it when I
see it.
Sadly, this fits right into the plans. You could slide Senga onto the payroll right next to Haniger. It all fits together. I'm going to say absolutely the Red Sox. I'm giving it an 8. It should be even a 9. I think it's hands down. I don't see another team outbidding the Sox for his services because it seems like what I'm afraid of is that they're so enamored with this guy. They're actually going to somewhat overpay for him, and we're all going to be left thinking, really? You could have just put that money at 20% in getting XYZ guy who is probably on this wheel right now.
So let's just have that discussion quickly. If it comes down to this Kodai Senga or re-signing Eovaldi, where do you land? Let's say Eovaldi is going to cost you 3 for 54, and Senga is going to be 6 for 62. I think Eovaldi's got at least one more good
Just
season.
give me Eovaldi.
I agree.
Yeah, I just at that money, even for cheapskates like this ownership, at that money, you can put the 30 mil into the bullpen or somewhere else. They're counting pennies at this point, so dollars matter. I'm all about the evil at this point. Upside is cool and fun and sexy. I don't know how sexy Senga is. I mean, is he sexy, Senga? I don't know. I don't think I want to chance that for an extra 30 mil. Give me Eovaldi and his 99 100-mile-an-hour heater. Guess what?
Yep.
That's sexy. He's sexy
Well,
when you're blowing
plays
guys away
and he's
100 miles an hour up.
Yeah, and he's proven
That's the
that
thing.
he can
We've
win
already seen it. And they're going to get him at the count as well based on his recent performance and everything else, his injuries and stuff. So, all right, let's do another one here. Oh, Lord. Corey Kluber with the Red Sox. Yeah, your thoughts on Corey Kluber, Sundance?
Oh, he's. Are you kidding me? He's Red Sox gold right now.
Dramatic pause.
But another fantastic buy low, get high type. And it's just not going to happen. But I'm gonna give him. The Red Sox can only sign. Even the Red Sox have their limits with signing crappy players.
Sure.
And so I don't quite see who. You know what? I could see them doing that. I could see a 1-year deal with Kluber, $12 million. Again, to them, $12 million on a 1-year deal is nothing. If it's 3 for 36, right, the Red Sox are out. 1 for 12, that's short money.
They're all about short-term commitment. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to put it at an 8, but I'm going to pick the Yankees to steal him away from the Red Sox and get a second crack at it with the Yankees.
I'm going to go Sox are very in on him, but are outbid by, yep, I'm going to say somewhere out of the left field, like a National League team like the Cardinals. Bring him in.
Okay.
So I'd say the Sox, I'll give them a 5. I think it's a solid option. I also think this team, the team Kennedy, Bloom, etc. I think they're also very enamored with all of the arms. I'm not saying they're greater quality. All of the arms they have under contract or they're on the 40-man roster between the major league team and in the minors like Josh Winkowski and all those guys who they can just shuttle back. They're all about. This team is all about is almost about the depth and not the quality to an extent. They're about the season's a marathon. We have all these quality arms that when somebody goes down, we can just keep shuffling and moving around and we don't miss a beat. Here's the thing. Is it a marathon? Absolutely. But when it comes to pitching, especially in baseball, just doing this, just being average, good across the board, and like when a guy goes down, you can get another guy that replaces him that's pretty good average or a little bit above average, like a 6 out of 10. Doing that all year, win you a title. You need spikes of dominant pitching and play. And when you just come up with 8 or 9 guys, they say, oh, these guys are interchangeable. One guy goes down, another one can slide in, don't miss a beat. That's great. That's great that you didn't have to make a stern decision to go out and trade for a guy, sign a guy, because you have another guy ready to step in, who's also going to give you 5 innings, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. Cool. Well, again, great. We'll just move on.
Where is the money going? Where is the money going? It costs you $35 to $40 now to sit in the bleachers. I mean, the Red Sox are one of the 5 richest teams in baseball. Where is the money going? We know Chris Sale is collecting his paycheck. We get that. Go ahead, sign, seal, deliver. But you haven't extended Devers yet. You haven't re-signed Bogarts. Where's the money going? It's not going to Kike. It's not going to whoever's playing right field. It's not going to Cassis playing first base. Trevor Story, he's making his $22 million. But if you're supposed to be up there with the Yankees, you got 6 or 7 guys on the diamond that are making $25 million a year. I just don't understand where the Red Sox are with this. And you hate to pin it all on Bloom because the guy just took the job. He just took a job. It's great. One of the greatest jobs in sports.
You sit on a throne of lies.
But geez, I really think he was handcuffed. I mean, it's obvious now. It's so obvious now. You were so right. They brought him in to just completely pare down that payroll and hope that we can put a good product on the field. But we're always about winning. Well, they're not spending.
The fan at this point should feel insulted by this ownership. And it's slap in the face, and as good as they have been to us as fans, things have turned a corner with them, and I think their priorities have shifted. Whether it be simply just saving money, the investments with the other parts of the FSG or what it is. But I mean, case in point, you just asked where's the money going? Part of that money is going into the MGM theater they built in the back of Fenway. Projects and don't get me wrong, I love the fact they're building up Fenway and doing so. I kind of feel like they're overdoing it now. But they'll invested in the area and stuff like that. But now they're putting it more into, like, they care more about this team being an attraction for fans than they do about the product on the field. And I'm sure I'm oversimplifying it. It's not to that extent. But there's definitely enough emphasis on, we want people to keep coming back here. Look at the experience we give you. So, all right, that's it. We'll do another 1 or 2 in here. We'll move on here. So let's spin the wheel. Get on to a free agent. Oh, Matt Straw, lefty from the bullpen. The Celtics, also the Red Sox, actually.
I was just going to ask you about him. Why are we re-signing this guy? I know that it was put out there that he wants to be a starter. I also read 2 days ago that he's not getting any interest as a starter. And so if you're the Red Sox, why aren't you banging down this guy's door?
Nor should he. He hasn't been a starter in like 3 years.
Yeah, no, like good lefty out of the bullpen. You're going to have a job for the next 12 years. Just work that angle. I don't understand.
As a lefty,
I don't see the.
And I don't like to. I like to. When I speculate about this, I always wonder, again, the stuff that we're not privy to as fans. Like, some of these guys might just have had a shitty experience in Boston, whatever it is, didn't get along with some guys, whatever, and just didn't like it here, want to move on. In which case, I understand. You can't throw out so much money to convince this guy to come back and play here. If he's not happy, he wants to move on. I'm not saying that's the case with Strom. I'm just saying we just never know sometimes if that's in play. But that aside, I don't know. I don't know what lefties besides Josh Taylor. Who do we have in our contract for left? No, wait. They signed Joely Rodriguez, who I think ended up going from the Rangers, I believe, to the Yankees last year.
Yeah.
Maybe they signed him because they knew they couldn't
Mets.
get Strong back.
I actually thought
The
it was the Mets. Yeah.
It was a New York team. So maybe on a stockpile. They steep last year with all those guys. All right, that's so Strom coming back. What do you say?
No,
Here or somewhere else?
Unfortunately, he should be like a screaming 9.5 and an easy slam dunk for the Red Sox. I don't see it because it hasn't happened yet, and it's such an easy one. So I'm going to put it at 4, and I'm going to call him with the Padres.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking. Going back to San Diego. All right, let's spin the wheel again. Let's see if we get somebody juicy here. So close. So close. And Trey Turner, one of the prized free agent shortstops available on the market. What do you think?
No chance he comes to Boston. Nope. I will send him to Atlanta, and I'll put his Red Sox chances on a scale of 1 to 10. Nah, I do it at a 3. He's going to be too expensive. He's basically Trevor Story 2.0 if you ask me, and they're not going to do that. Nope.
I would agree. I think you're essentially conceding you're keeping Story at second base long term, and I mean, I think he does go back to the National League. He's either going back to the Dodgers. Actually, I guess. He's coming to the Sox. I'd say it too. So I'm with you on that. Let's do another one. I didn't juicy names on here we haven't got to. Not as juicy. Chris Bassett, which definitely is in the upper tier available starting tiers that we've talked about. Not quite a Verlander, but he's probably that next 2 or 3 after like a Verlander and DeGrom.
He is, and people have actually pegged him
potentially
for. Yeah, I've seen people write him into the Red Sox rotation for 2023. I don't see it. I think that I see him going to. Where's he coming from? The Mets?
The Mets acquired him from Oakland. He was part of that dump of pitchers and players from Oakland.
He'll go to the Phillies. It'll be another great. This is going to be a great offseason. The Phillies are hungry. They just lost the World Series. Harper's going to be out for a while. Dombrowski's going to spend some money. It's going to go to Bogarts, and it's going to go to Bassett. I kind of think the Red Sox might have an opportunity to trade for. It's either going to be Kodai Senga or it's going to be Shane Bieber. And I got to be honest, I'm not enamored with either one. Shane Bieber, 2-3 years ago, yeah, but not at this point.
He's some bumps, right? All right. I'd be happy with Bassett. He's not the Verlander 1A signing, but he certainly would help stabilize that rotation easily. He's definitely taken major steps in his career the last two or 3 seasons. I'm going to say, again, I'm going to say no. I'm going to just pull out an underdog and say Texas. Texas is out there trying to get like any pitcher or pitchers they can get right now to come down there. And they have more of a neutral ballpark to pitch in now. I mean, if you want to win, I don't know that you go to Texas, but money talks and talks. They've got plenty of money to spend at this point. They dumped it all into Trevor Siemian and Corey Seager last year. I'd say chances on the Sox, I'll give it decent. I'll give it maybe like a 5, 4.5 to 5. Like you said, I think they'll be in play, but I don't know what will actually happen. Let's do more and let's get out of here because we can put up a do. Final one. Ooh, another good one. Another prize free agent player, Carlos Rodon. Coming from San Francisco. Hot lefty. No, not happening either. Okay. Because he's just too good, basically, is what it comes down to.
he goes to Seattle or Toronto. I'll peg him at a 3 for the Red Sox. Even though I think I read some things that link the Red Sox are linked to everybody right now. It's the interest kings.
Interest kings.
Yeah, he's not signing with Boston. That's not happening.
Okay. All right. I was actually leaning Toronto myself, so I was going to say Toronto. Chances coming here like a 2. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
All right. I think we are going to conclude our Hot Stove Roulette. I kind of enjoyed that. We may have to bring that back in the future for other free agency periods, maybe the NFL, etc. But next fun here, we're going to get into a favorite of mine, Cómo Se Llama, holiday movie edition, where we are doing Cómo Se Llama with holiday movie characters. So we're gonna get out of sports a little bit, have a little fun. So basically, Sundance and I, we're gonna have 3 holiday movie characters, give each other clues, see if we can guess who we're talking about. They're probably going to be terrible. The last time we tried this didn't go so well. I think this time, I think last time with her former boyfriends, that was a rising success. So, let's do it up. Cómo Se Llama.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas tú? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas tú? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas tú? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Well, all right. That's over now. So, all right. Cómo Se Llama. It's a good song. Again, Cómo Se Llama, we like to keep it a little more respectful, like usted, etc. Shout out Mrs. De Carvalho and all you Spanish teachers out there who are cringing at the thought of hearing all this. So, all right, Sundance. So, holiday movie characters. Number 1, give me a clue.
I'm going to let you blow it out of the water right now. Here's the first clue. This character is definitively, according to Santa, on the naughty list. Definitively. Have you not studied up your holiday movies prior to the podcast? Major J.
I mean, I didn't watch the top 100 list on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right, clue number 2.
Didn't have that much time. No, I'm going to guess. I'm going to say it is The Grinch. How The Grinch Stole Christmas.
No. And here's where clue number 2 would have helped you.
Well,
this character has 2 sons.
Like Cain and Abel? I mean, what?
Is not.
So it would be, he has 2 sons, so it's male. 2 sons on the naughty list.
Third clue?
Yeah, I don't even have to guess.
He is married to Emily.
Emily Blunt, John Krasinski. Not even close.
No, this is Walter Hobbs from Elf. Otherwise known as James Caan from Elf.
Okay, yeah. All right, that's a good one.
2 sons, definitely on the naughty list. Mary Steenburgen plays Emily, his wife, in the movie.
All right, that's fair. He only thought he had 1 son until the movie was about a half hour in, but that's fine. Ends up having 2 sons.
Like 4 times. I would have gotten that immediately. All right, I'm ready.
That's why you play out the game. All right. Number 1. This character is well-traveled.
Elf.
No.
I like beef and cheese.
But also no. All right, clue number 2. We're just going to roll it. Let's go. Well-traveled. Second clue is this character is played by a beloved, now deceased comedian. Not Randy Quaid.
Santa Claus.
It's a vague answer covering plenty of people. I appreciate the attempt. Incorrect across the board.
All right.
Not-
that's okay.
Not Santa. All right, clue number 3.
Yes.
In the movie that this character appeared in, his profession was, this should give it away, I hope. His profession was a shower curtain ring salesman.
Oh, geez. I'm not going to get this one. Is it Steve Martin from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Sundance, you are so incredibly close. It is Steve Martin, who is alive. I just want to point out. Not Neil Page from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It is, however, Del Griffith from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, played by the now deceased John Candy. Great attempt, though. Good one there. All right, number 2 we got.
All right. This character enjoys a good adventure or 2 or 3 or 4. Holidays, adventure.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
That's not my name.
Clue number 2. Desperately wants to get home to his family.
Oh, Neil Page from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's not my
Clue
name.
number 3.
Good lord.
One of Chicago's finest.
Oh, okay. That's CM Punk.
That's not my name.
It was John McClane from Die Hard, Notoriety.
Okay, so timeout. We're counting. This is a whole nother debate we're starting here, and I think we went into this last year when we did
Is
top
Die Hard
5.
not a holiday movie?
I think we talked about this last year when we did our top 5 holiday movies or holiday movie characters. Cousin Eddie, I believe John McClane appeared in that as well, and we got into it as far as whether we believe. So your standpoint is that Die Hard, any of them, all of them, well, maybe just the first one at least, is a Christmas movie. At least for purposes of this exercise, John McClane is a main character in a Christmas holiday movie.
Correct.
Cool. All right. Got that one wrong. All right. My number 2. First clue. This character is stars in a very underrated Christmas movie from 2007. Very underrated. At least I think it is.
Go ahead. Or is that the clue?
That's the clue.
Oh,
So think back 15 years. What movies did you enjoy this time of year?
Wow, that's a really tough clue. I'm just gonna throw out there Vince Vaughn from his Christmas movie.
Be more specific.
Shoot, what he was Santa Claus's brother.
You got it. Close. Fred Claus, you got it.
Right.
Touche. All right. Well, good for you. The other clues, because people might have wanted to hear them. Fan favorite actor had his big break in a 1996 California movie. Wonder what that was. And his bitter older brother. He's the bitter older brother of Nick. So touche, Sundance. You nailed it with Ralph / Fred Claus. Let's go with number 3.
All right, number 3. He is incredibly fond of the human heart.
Oh. This could be one of 2. I'm gonna guess them both.
Okay.
It's either Hannibal
wow.
Lecter. It's either Hannibal Lecter
That's not
or
my
it
name.
is the lion from Wizard of Oz.
That's not my name.
No, but I want you to stay on that path.
Which one?
Clue number 2. Sports a rather Rastafarian look.
And he's very fond of the human heart.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know Shabba Ranks actually started in a holiday movie.
Is that your guess?
No, it's not. Fond of the Human Heart. Because if I touch it, it'll help me. And he sports a Rastafarian look. Oh, it's John Candy's character from Cool Runnings.
That's not my name.
Clue number 3. Has faced off against, in one sequel, Danny Glover, and in another, a completely otherworldly character.
Oh my lord. I don't remember there being a holiday Predator movie.
Now, was it released around the holidays?
I don't think release date qualifies something automatically to being a holiday movie. Sometimes these movies don't have any other time to release, and they don't want to be up against the blockbusters in the summer.
I couldn't remember if maybe HBO just got a hold of it around Christmas time and played it a lot. So that's where
it's not actually. So it's actually prey on who it's preying for the holidays, right? The first Christmas ruined by Predator and company.
Now here's the good news. You scored. You're on the scoreboard. I'm
right. That's actually right. It's
that's
Predator.
Right. Yes, you got it. Yes.
I can't, okay. I don't. This is worse than Die Hard. Which I need. All right. Time out. Before we get into my last one, I need an explanation as to what qualifies. Is this the original, the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the original Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator?
The franchise, I mean, extends out.
So they released every Predator movie around Christmas? Did you go through and check the release dates on all these to verify that they disqualify?
I haven't done that lately, but I have a feeling you'll find that when you check it up on Wikipedia. Not that we have time to do that now.
No.
The important thing, again, you're missing it. You scored. You're on the scoreboard, tied at 1.
I'm still struggling at how it's a Christmas movie, but we'll move on. If anyone else listening or watching can identify what might qualify that, if there's bells in the background or something, maybe a Christmas tree in a scene. I think there's more Christmas trees in the Lethal Weapon movies in Danny Glover than there was Predator, but that's fine. All right, first clue, my number 3. This character arrived unannounced at their host's home when they made their debut in the movie they were in.
This character arrived unannounced.
Unannounced at their host, whoever's hosting at their home.
Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
No.
That's not my name.
He also qualifies. But not him.
Okay.
This character notably wore a hat most of their time in this movie.
Well, Santa typically Tim Allen, Santa Claus.
It's not. No.
That's not my name.
I'll only give you another guess. It's not Santa Claus in any way. That's a bonus.
I'm gonna need clue number 3.
All right. This character actually did not survive to the end of the movie that they're featured in. So arrived unannounced at their host's home, wore a hat most of the movie, and did not even survive to the end. I can't tell if you're frozen or if you're thinking.
Well, you're banging on me for Predator. This is the E.T.
It's not E.T. This is a
E.T.?
Christmas movie.
That's not
It's
my
not
name.
E.T. It's a E.T.
Is it E.T.?
It's not E.T. All right. Answer is, and I had to stretch a bit on this one,
Oh,
but it is the leg lamp from A Christmas Story. Arrives in the Fragile box,
that's a good one. That's
wore a lampshade the whole time, and didn't survive because, she ruined it on purpose. Ralph's mom. So,
Yeah.
All right. That was allegedly. Well, he thinks she did on purpose. Um, what was done on purpose is her using up all the glue.
You use up all the glue on purpose.
That's true.
All right, that was a good time. I'm getting ready for holidays. Christmas is around the corner. That was fun. I think we're gonna do a little more of this stuff in the future. So, all right, Sundance. I think that so that wraps up Cómo Se Llama. We're gonna go ahead and kind of roll this thing out of here with a little bit of 3 and out, like we've been doing on these shows. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the honor of taking first down. 3 and out. What do you got?
Cool. So, wow. If never have to listen to Tony Dungy call another NFL game, let me be more specific. If I never have to hear Tony Dungy call another Patriots game, it'll be too soon. That guy could not be more passive aggressive anti-Patriots. I caught some of the replay today.
No ill will
NFL
from
Network.
his.
And my goodness, I mean, Minnesota could do no wrong, and what are the Patriots thinking on every other play?
Right. Which is
thumbs
ironic
down
for a game that was played
on Tony Dungy.
so closely. Yeah, I he's clearly harboring ill will from back in his Colts days. But okay, Tony. I generally like Tony Dungy, but that was a bit uncalled for. All right, second down. I'll take this one kind of along the same lines. I hate to attack or come after our local media celebrities in the Boston area. I generally like this guy, but man, this is starting to bug me. Scott Zolak, take off the goddamn sunglasses. The guy wears them all the time, and I understand maybe he has like an eye issue. I don't know if he has glaucoma or TED or
I think he does.
Well, nonetheless, take the glasses off
He has
because
a
it
doctor's
comes.
note.
What's that?
I think he has a doctor's note, but
Well, I'd like
this
to
is
see
your
it.
take, not mine.
It is my take. And it's like when you're indoors in the studio, I'm sure they can adjust the lighting. Just take them off occasionally. It really looks like you just have a shtick. That's just my take. I'm annoyed with people who tend to seem like they just want to do stuff because that they want it to be their bit. That's how it comes across to me. I could be wrong. If he has an eye thing, yeah, if he's got a note, if I'd love to see it, and I'll go from there. Maybe I'll change my take. But until then, take them off. Sundance, third down. What do you got?
Oh, hey. Listen,
Hey, I am. That's what I'm here for. It.
the Minutemen, they might be back. They
few
might be
yes.
back under Frank Martin. I'm not sure. I'm not positive. This is going to be my third take. This is it.
Okay.
But they're coming out of the gate 4-1. Not exactly taking down the Dukes and Kentuckys of the world.
Right.
That's okay.
You can only play the schedule in front of you, Sundance.
And partially the one that you put together in the offseason.
Well, yeah, but
So hey, I'm going to say right now,
all right.
this is not. I believe UMass is going to show well this year. I'm going to say that.
Okay.
Are they going to
Right.
be in the tournament? I'm not willing to go that far, but do I think that this 4-1 morphs into a 12-13 or I don't think so. I think that they have a winning season this year, and I'm excited for it. Listen, I'm down here in Yukon country, and
We're still Mass boys, though.
Hey, it's pretty cool to see UConn, back in the top 25, way up there in the top 25. But geez, I'm excited to see what kind of noise UMass can make along the way. So we'll see.
Love it. No, I'm with you on that. Definitely it'd be nice to see that program kind of come back and can make some noise again, which would be pretty cool. All right. I love it. 3 now. We're down. All right. So Nance, before we go, we're just going to kick out another reminder to everybody. Again, if you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, turn notifications on so you don't miss the show. Audio is available if you're not listening to it already on Spotify and almost anywhere else you get your podcasts. If you're listening, make sure you rate and review. We appreciate it. Make sure you are following us on social. Number 2, Padres Pod on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Dos Padres Podcast on Facebook. Again, all part of the greater not just the small part, the greater Western Mass in Hartford County takeover, one flower at a time. We'd love you to join us for the ride. All right, so we'll be back in a couple weeks. We're going to talk some more Celtics and Bruins. We're going to see where the Pats stand after these next couple of games against Buffalo, Arizona, etc. Preview the next couple on the docket at that point. We're going to see if the Sox actually sign anyone of any significance whatsoever. Hopefully, we have something to talk about there. We're also going to come back, another holiday edition of This or That, which will be this right into Christmas. That's going to be fun. So make sure you check us out, come back, check it out. It's going to be a good time. That's Sundance Kid. I'm Major J. Dos Padres. Hasta tus sueños. We are out.